Happy Pride Month! Shout out to the gays. Hey guys, happy Pride. I do want to make this video and put it out. So here I am, coming at you with some queer recs for Pride Month. I have curated a pile of queer books, specifically underrated queer books. I didn't want to get on here and tell you guys about the Song of Achilles and Red, White, and Royal Blue for like the 1000th time you've heard about them. Although those are both great books that I love, I'm simply not here to talk about them because they've been talked about. You all know. So I'm here to talk about queer books that I've read and adored that are maybe a little bit more underrated. I have talked about some of these on my channel before, some of them I haven't, so yeah, I hope you enjoy. Quick little shout out to my Blackbeard earrings. Got them in the mail yesterday. I'm obsessed with them. Here's a fun fact about me. My ears aren't pierced. All of the earrings you see me wearing are clip-ons. I usually get them all from the same shop, but I saw these and like could not resist. They hurt. They hurt like a bastard. I don't give a fuck though. They're really, really cute. I already broke this one. I have to glue his little arm back on. Happy Pride. Putting on the breakup flag earrings. Let's talk about books. The first one in my stack here is one that I talked about in my last video, and that's Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. So first of all, let me just tell you the representation in this book. It is a polyamorous, I really don't want to say the word throuple because that's cringy, but yeah, it is 3 people in a polyamorous relationship, and also the author is non-binary. Iron Widow is a super high sci-fi fantasy. I read it really recently and super enjoyed it. It's about a girl, our main character. I put the dust jacket on upside down. Look at me. Oh my god. Basically, there's a war with robots. I talked about it a lot in my last video, so you can watch that. Revenge, queer people, war, robots. Great book. Really great book. It's just so good. Also, this beautiful cover, like, hello? Yes, great book. And I found out that the sequel is called Heavenly Tyrant, and it comes out in spring (2023), I think, sometime in 2023. I can't remember when, but yes, lovely book. Read it. Next in my pile is one that I have a reading blog on this channel for, and that is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. This is a queer adult romance. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. Charlie and Dave are perfect. Charlie goes on this Bachelor-esque TV show to try and fix his reputation because he's sort of like a disgrace to like a tech mogul, but not like an annoying one. Not like an Elon Musk type. I can't think of like a not annoying tech mogul, but he's like really smart. He's really smart and in the public eye, but he is trying to fix his reputation because of something that happened, and I can't remember how much of it is revealed, so I'm not gonna like say anything that's like spoilery, but basically something happened. He needs to fix his reputation, so he goes on this Bachelor-esque dating show, but he's really socially awkward, so his storyline producer Dave is like, we have to fix this. So it's basically like, we're gonna go on practice dates, and then like, oh shit. I never wanted it to be over because I was afraid I was gonna be really depressed when it was done because they are awesome. Obviously, this is a MLM romance. It's just really good. It's really good. Okay, guys. I talked about it more in my romance recs video for Valentine's Day. This is definitely one of them. These aren't all romance, by the way. So, yeah. Charm Offensive. Love this book. This is actually one of my favorite books of all time. It's I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This has queer rep in it through Noah, who is one of our main characters. He's 13/16. It's like a dual timeline book, so like through half the book he's like 13 and through the other half he's like 16, and he's sort of navigating his sexuality for the first time. This book is so fucking good. I've read this for the first time in my freshman year of high school, and it has remained in like my top 3 books. Honestly, like the only book that has come close to dethroning it has been Hell Followed With Us, which I will get to later. First of all, I have a physical copy. Okay, but anyway, I don't want to start talking about Hell Followed With Us right now because I will not stop. But it is a Stonewall honor book. It's absolutely incredible. So in this book, we follow Jude and Noah. They are twins. We're following them in two timelines, one when they are about 13 and one when they are about 16. They start off really close, and then a traumatic event happens that sort of drives a rift in their relationship. And just following it, going back and forth and watching the two of them and their relationship like change and grow, finding out everything as you read this book is an insane experience. And I would sell my soul to read this for the first time again. I really want to reread this. I haven't in a while, but this really is just like my go-to recommendation always. This is what the actual cover looks like. It has this like really stupid quote on the front. It has a new cover now, but like this is a bad situation, but it has a new cover. Yeah, this book is just amazing, and it's really funny. Noah is fucking hilarious. He's so funny, as all gay people are. Just so great. I could gush about this book for a really long time. Let's talk about Sean David Hutchinson. The book I'm holding right now is At the Edge of the Universe by Sean David Hutchinson. He also wrote We Are the Ants, which is another really great queer YA young adult sci-fi. I'm realizing now that I accidentally sort of separated this into like, I promise these are not all MLM books. I'm not that kind of bitch. I'm a queer woman. I don't exclusively read stories about queer men. I swear to God, I don't know what happened. Anyway, Sean David Hutchinson has this like niche of writing queer YA sci-fi, and it's so good, but not like Iron Widow sci-fi, like really sort of basic level sci-fi. In this book, the universe is shrinking and people keep forgetting things except our main character, Ozzy. And at the beginning of this book, Ozzy is struggling because the universe has recently eaten up his boyfriend, Tommy, and no one can remember him except for Ozzy. This book was so good. So beautiful, such a page turner. The only Sean David Hutchinson books I've read are this one and We Are the Ants, but they're both extremely existential, which is certainly something. I mean, it's fun to read, but like if you might, you know, have a crisis about it, I really don't want to use the words existential crisis because I used those words too much in middle school. Sean David Hutchinson is just an amazing author and writes so beautifully. I do really recommend this book and We Are the Ants, and they do both feature queer male leads. Brilliant writing, amazing stuff. Let's talk about whatever the fuck this is. This is The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. Cale Dietrich co-wrote If This Gets Out with Sophie Gonzalez, and I also read that. It's not in this video, mostly because I don't have a physical copy of it, but also because I feel like it's fine. If you want to read like publish One Direction Larry fanfic, you can read If This Gets Out. Right now I'm talking about The Love Interest, which is so bad that it's good. If that makes sense. Everything about this book is stupid and it's so fun to read. Basically in this book, we're following two people whose their names are, one of them is named Dill. I'm never ever gonna forget that. And the other one is Caden. And they are both competing for like the attentions, I guess, of this genius girl. They've been sent by an agency who have trained and raised them to be the archetypes of like the nice guy and like the bad boy, and they're sending them both to try and win the affections of this girl, and whoever doesn't get the girl is gonna get executed. It's so fucking stupid, guys. It's so stupid, but it's so fun. It's very much like what I was talking about in my last video with Mistakes Were Made. You just have to let it take you where it wants to take you, and you'll enjoy it, you know? It is very similar to If This Gets Out, where it reads like a fanfic. And I remember reading this, the fucking dust jacket is on upside down on this one too. What is my problem? I also stamped in my library stamp upside down. That is so slay, you guys. I had so much fun reading this book. It is also worth noting that I finished this book when I was in quarantine before my first semester of college. So I might have just been going a little bit crazy, and that might have really added to my enjoyment factor of this book. But it was so fun. I think I literally considered giving it 5 stars when I finished it. And I was like, I cannot give this book 5 stars. It's fucking bad. So I think I gave it 4.5. I don't know if I mentioned, they fall for each other instead of the girl. I feel like that should be obvious due to like the content of this video, but yeah, great stuff. It's so fucking stupid that it's just so enjoyable. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I love this book. Look at also my little fox tabs. Ugh, they're so cute. This is Sapphic, finally. So in Honey Girl, we are following our main character whose name is Grace. She has just graduated with her doctorate to be an astronomer, and she's really struggling to find a job. So she and her friends end up going to Vegas, and at the beginning of this book, she wakes up married to a complete stranger. So basically we are following Grace as she navigates her career, her newfound fucking marriage that she has been thrown into. Really the main reason why this book is so good and why I gave it 5 stars is just the absolutely beautiful writing. Morgan Rogers writes stunningly. That's why this is so tabbed up. Let me just flip to a tab. Grace tries, she really tries, but the tears don't stop, and neither does the hollow black abyss spreading right under her ribs. It used to be filled with research and classes and exams, the dreams of what lie ahead. Now there's just nothing. That's brilliant. I mean, that is so real. Like, that's just so real. Let's find another one. I want to look at you. I want to touch you. I want to kiss you, my good thing. I want to replace the bitter taste of rejection on my tongue with your acceptance. Like, I mean, it's just fucking brilliant. Like, give this book a shot. I don't know if Morgan Rogers is writing another book. I really hope they are, though. I wouldn't call it a romance. It's more of like a coming-of-age novel, but yeah, just brilliant. So good. I've talked about this book on my channel before, and I'm gonna fucking talk about it again because it is Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. Baby, I love this book. This is one of the best romances I've ever read. It is so fucking good. So we are following Dahlia in London as they compete on a cooking show. They compete on a cooking show. It is so fucking brilliant. Dahlia is going through a divorce, and London is the first openly non-binary contestant to be on this cooking show. So they're kind of struggling with like sort of the idea of being representation, if that makes sense, and also just the idea of being out on like a national scale. They're competing on this cooking show. They end up being friends, and then they end up being more than friends, and it's just, oh my god. I read an arc of this book, and everything, it's just so good. London is non-binary and Dahlia is pansexual. They're both so cool and funny, and everything about this book is just amazing. I really want everyone to read this book. I think it's like incredibly underrated, hence why it's in this video. I know I've talked about it before. I know it was like my second best book of 2021, and you should read it because it's fucking awesome. This next one, this is an oldie but a goodie. I read this like maybe 3 years ago, actually. This is Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. It's sapphic horror, and it's amazing. It's sapphic YA horror. Like, and it's brilliant. I don't really remember the plot of this super well. I just remember really enjoying it and being thoroughly creeped out. I know there's like a monster involved, and we're following the points of view of 3 girls, and they're on an island. Very wild meets Stranger Things. There's a monster on this island that has been disappearing girls for ages. And yeah, I mean, I just remember being left like speechless by this. It's insane, and it's so fun. If you're into horror and women who love women like me, like, this is perfect. And we're finally there. Guys, I know I just spent like 20 minutes in my last video. I'm serious. I edited down like 20 minutes of me screaming about Hell Followed With Us. But guess what, bitch? It's out now, and I have a copy in my hands, and it's amazing. It's so good. This book is literally filled to the brim with queer people. Our main character, Benji, is a trans boy in an apocalypse situation who is rescued by a group of teenagers who, when the apocalypse hit, were all at the LGBT center. So everyone who survived at the LGBT center is just like together. Literally everyone in this book is like queer except for the antagonists. And it's so good, guys. If you take anything away from, honestly, if you take anything away from the rest of your time viewing my channel, it should be to read Hell Followed With Us. This book is amazing. I am going to reread it. I'm actually reading, this is what I'm reading right now. I'm reading On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. I read this today. I read all of this today. This is also sapphic. This is a sapphic graphic novel, but I haven't finished it yet, so it doesn't have my official stamp of approval, but it's good so far. It's also really heavy to hold like this. This thing is chunky. I'm gonna reread this though when I'm done with this, because the audiobook's out and I really want to listen to the audiobook. There's also neurodivergent rep in this book. One of the main characters, the love interest, actually is autistic. I love everything about this book. Like literally, you can go watch my last video and watch me gush about it for like 7 minutes straight. Like, it's amazing. Everything about this book is amazing, but it is extremely triggering if you have any sort of religious trauma or like don't like gore. This teen stamp on it is fucking killing me. It is so funny. Like, when you've read this book, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's like, this is it's insane and amazing, and I gave it 5 stars, and you should go read it. The last book I want to talk about is actually a book that I finished last night, and it's unlike everything else on this list, and it's also not out yet. I'm sorry, but last night I finished my arc of My Government Means to Kill Me by Rashid Newson. Really incredibly powerful. It reads like a classic that you would have been handed in English class if anyone actually gave a damn about teaching queer history. Like, that's the feeling of the book. We're following our main character, Trey, as he navigates his life alone in the middle of New York City during the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. It's so powerful. It's literally filled to the brim with queer history. It's probably the most I've ever learned from a fiction book, simply because it's just, there's so much happening, and queer history is so cool. Like, I don't know if you guys knew that, but it's so fucking fascinating and insane. The book also has like footnotes, so every time a person or event or place is mentioned that is significant to queer history, there's a footnote, and you can flip to the back of the chapter and read like a little summary of that thing. It was really just enlightening, and I honestly would have read the book forever. I really just enjoyed going through chapter by chapter and just learning through Trey's story. It was just so amazing. When My Government Means to Kill Me comes out in August, I would definitely recommend checking that out. Also, what a fucking banger of a title. Are you kidding me? My Government Means to Kill Me? That is an amazing, amazing title. Those are all my queer book recommendations. I have about 8,000 more. All I ever read is stories about queer people. So if you want to hear more stories about queer people, like, tune in, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. Really glad to be here. I have something really exciting coming up for this channel that I'm so excited about. So when I can make that video and announce that, I will be very happy. But in the meantime, make sure you're liked, subscribed, all the good stuff. I love you. Thanks for being here. If you're not gay, you owe me $10. Okay, bye. He's in his Reputation era, but like not really. I don't want to say the word billionaire because this is not a billionaire romance. Billionaire romances are fucking annoying, as I've recently learned when I read the fine print.